Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me today. I'm Toni Jones. I'm the National Sector Leader for Manufacturing, Life Sciences and Services at KPMG. I specialise in helping organisations to modernise and transform, and I'm really passionate about supporting the sovereign capability of Australian manufacturing. Today, I have 5 key areas that I'd like to take you through. Firstly, exploring the evolving expectations of customers and as it relates to industrial markets, and what this means for the sector in terms of how you need to respond. Customers are expecting fast turnaround times and lead times for their products, just as they have been for consumer products. They're now expecting the same for industrial markets, and this is putting greater pressure on organisations. They're also expecting cheaper. Life cycles are becoming much shorter, with businesses needing to consider smaller batch sizes to cater for customers. The market is really competitive, and customers are demanding lower prices, challenging the economic viability of the manufacturing process. Personalisation is a key expectation. Customer expectations have been ever increasing in respect of consumer goods, and this is now extending to industrial. Customers are demanding more specialised and individual features to help them differentiate, creating pressure for personalisation. And finally, sustainability. Demands for sustainable practices, supply chain, carbon footprint are ever increasing. There are many incentives available that can be leveraged to help organisations to get here, but important to note that in a few years' time, these demands and desires will become mandatory requirements that organisations need to be able to provide. So the opportunity is now to take advantage of those incentives upon us. Next, I want to talk about the key megatrends that are impacting on Australian manufacturing. We see 6 key areas. The first one is around going green. There's obviously an increased focus on decarbonisation, advanced recycling, the net zero energy transition, and by 2025, renewables are expected to surpass coal as the primary energy source. Digitally enabled. The pandemic fueled a boom in digitisation, with teleworking, telehealth, online shopping, digital currencies becoming mainstream. And the future demand for digital work is expected to continue to increase by 80% to 2025. The expectations from businesses, consumers, and government participants is to be able to participate digitally in everything they interact with. And this digital engagement will be critical consideration in the evaluation of who is bidding for new business and how to attract new and talented resources. Thirdly, it's about autonomous operations. So there's been an explosion in artificial intelligence discoveries right across all industry groups in the last few years. And coupled with IoT, big data, now the metaverse, these new technologies really provide great opportunities for factories to drive efficiency and cost reduction across their operations. But this doesn't take away from the human interaction, and there's a real emphasis on the need to be trustworthy. So consumers, government, other businesses are all expecting trust. So through technology, technology has evolved, obviously. We're able to get automation, but the rules of decision making still needs to be governed by trusted humans. And trust in your business is going to be key for its growth as information becomes more available and more transparent. The geopolitical ramifications are enormous. We're obviously facing a very uncertain future. We've got lots of disrupted patterns of global trade, geopolitical tensions, and growing investment in defence. With the global economy shrunk by 3%, global military has reached an all-time high of $2.9 trillion. This means that we have to not only focus on re-evaluating our sourcing locations, supply chain dependencies, but also foster nearshore and onshore capability, which brings us to the sovereign agenda. 15 billion Australian dollars has been marked for investment by the Australian government, with an additional investment of 30 billion from the private sector for bringing back manufacturing onto the agenda into Australia while navigating through these global scenarios. Australia's enables self-sufficiency in manufacturing, and particularly around those critical key areas. So what do you need to do as a business to stay relevant? Supply chain is one of the number one things that comes up often and is a critical point. So both in terms of the resilience of your supply chain, but how to adapt your supply chain to be quicker, faster, create demand, allow transparency. Building local capability is important. So when parts of your supply chain are locally present, it's easier for you to scale up and to manage fluctuating demand, as well as to manage all aspects of your supply chain from an ESG perspective as well. You really need to think about a digitally enabled workforce. So when you digitize and automate your operations, it's essential for the existing workforce to also be digitally enabled. This helps make the manufacturing business more attractive to new talent emerging from the industry, and it will enable your overall efficiency and cost reduction across your production. An environmentally aware value chain. It's not only you, it's essentially your suppliers and your consumers who need to provide a sustainable product to the end customer. There's an opportunity here to evaluate who you source from, where you source that material, and how can you make your existing operations more sustainable. Automate and create more efficient operations. It's essential for you to make local operations affordable. This can be achieved through a blend of labour, automation that is optimal and efficient. This really does go hand in hand with technology. It hasn't been, in the most part, it's been over 20 years since there has been substantial modernisation of technology across the manufacturing and industrial sector. There's now a window to get ahead of the curve and invest in modernising your technology landscape, and to be able to really optimise the efficiency and the cost, and to be able to automate those operations. And data-driven decision making. Data is spread typically across multiple systems and tools. You need to really think about where that data is and how you can connect those data points to be able to generate valuable insights to really help you with your strategic and operational decisions. And then finally, optimizing asset utilization. It's really important that you maximize the value and the utilizations of the assets that you're deploying. This frees up capacity and capital for you to invest in modernization while also making your operations more efficient. There's a lot there. So where do you begin? We really think there are three key areas. The most important thing is thinking about it holistically, and really starting with a broader context and approach in mind. Coming up with a clear strategy that combines your ESG considerations, digitization, and your supply chain viability and collaboration. From an environmental, social, and governance perspective, really considering how you can make your operations aligned to enable sustainable manufacturing, for driving those cost efficiencies and ensuring adherence to legislation, as well as minimising your impact on the environment and energy usage. Digitization is how do you invest in strategic digital business transformation, which really looks at connecting both your front office in terms of your intersection with customers, your middle and your back office of your business, and modernising your technology architecture to really enable you to make use of Industry 4.0 through integrated data. And supply chain visibility and collaboration, ensuring you have effective, secure communication and collaboration all along the value chain, including third parties, including suppliers, manufacturers, and business units. And of course, I couldn't resist, but how can we help? So we're very available for you as KPMG and our manufacturing team to help you in all of these areas. We've really identified 6 key enablers that organisations in the manufacturing sector can really embrace to streamline their evolution to a much more digitally enabled and sustainable business. So you can see the 6 here on the screen. We can certainly help you from a digital perspective in terms of helping you define your digital strategy and understanding what plans need to be in place and how you're going to measure the implementation and value generated from that. Connected customer-centric operations. Really, how do you ensure that all aspects of your business are connected from front, middle, back office? Sustainable value chain, so to enable that continuous monitoring across all of that value chain, really understanding what tracking needs to be in place, what reporting and what standards you would put through to really achieve your ESG requirements. Secure and connected supply chain, really thinking about how you can manage that supply chain and what automation and technology can be used along the way to make better, faster decisions. People, assets, and AI, Obviously, thinking about what you can use in terms of analytics, AI, robotics to see across your whole production, but also to provide you with the data, and data-driven business. So in terms of how you can connect the dots, how can you create the data analytics platform that will really allow you to track and monitor, minimize waste, improve quality, and really help you drive that improvement in your business. So that's just a snapshot. I hope you took some value out of the talk today, and I will now hand back. Thank you very much.